members of this body that whatever decisions that members of this body will make, that decision stands. And this is why the minister is here. And the leadership, based on any decision that you take tomorrow, the leadership will always work in the interest of this Senate. On that note, Honorable Pro Tem and colleagues, the minister have apologized to this body and said he unruly disrespect this body. I want to join members of my colleagues who speak in that direction. That since there are major issues to be discussed, issues of national concern, most especially the motion that was made, the motion stated that all other issues, and every county represented here today or in the Senate have issues of concern. So I will appeal to this body, since we have gone in this direction, that we exercise restraint and move forward and commend the Honorable Pro Tem and other members of the leadership for what they continue to do by not just being here, but listening to members that are seated here and prove others wrong that this leadership continue to shield officials of government. So on that note, Honorable Pro Tem, while on my feet,
the last thing we sent
thank you. I want to thank all of my colleagues who have made a vote on this very important subject matter. But for the distinguished colleague, I'd like to address this from different dimensions. For several years, we all have worked in government. And we all are aware of the capacity deficit that we have across government. Today, this has clearly been demonstrated. We wrote the minister on October 25th, citing him for a meeting. October 24th, citing him for a meeting on October 25th. And he replied us on October 25th, informing us that he had a scheduled trip to Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. This is that. And he asked for us to reschedule his appearance. He was again ready on October 26th to appear on November 1st. He replied us on November 1st. Hearing was scheduled at 11 a.m. He informed us, and I'd like to read that paragraph. He said, unfortunately, I'm again unable to honor today's request at 11 a.m. due to my involvement with the visiting IMF mission, which is conducting the 5th Extended Credit Facility Review and other prior engagements. I therefore beg the indulgence of plenary to reschedule my appearance to a suitable date. These two communications, I believe, might not have been to our knowledge when we started the Minister of Contempt. As clearly demonstrated here, total distinguished police, because in the middle of our deliberation, these two communications were brought.
Order. Total order. Thank you. Total order. The communication of consent that the order. Those two communications we want our colleagues to understand that those two communications made the agenda and they were read on the floor. This body is aware of those two communications.
And rejected them.
Yeah, and we
Overruled because the body is not allowed to communication.
this body,
Project, thank you. The communications were just brought here. And the commission showed them to us.
What was right was our letters to the minister. The two letters. But the minister responded.
on one of these occasions, you were on the country. On one of these occasions, those two communications were read here.
Okay, anyway, after the decision already over here.
Thank you, Project.
It was read, and why was it for the minister?
Thank you, Project. The Project informed us that there were two communications in reply to our earlier two communications sent to the minister. So Project disclosed police, this shows to us that we do have a problem that we need to correct. Besides that, the minister here, besides that, Project disclosed police, you can see that the minister has similar problem in his office.
Right.
The minister wrote us two communications. He is not aware of the communications that came from his office that he signed.
Jesus Christ.
He was not properly briefed. He keep listen to him what he said.
Plan never made a decision after the communication. Plan never made a decision on Tuesday to bring the minister here with contempt charges or whatever it is, and that's what should be discussing.
But if you wrote a
If we didn't
communication, then
discuss
why we
that
send for
before,
you?
then it's not
Order,
important.
protest,
That's plan never decision. We all voted.
Excuse me,
So then why would justify the decision we made?
leader.
Brother, these debates are there about sentiment, they are about the facts.
Absolutely.
They are about the facts. And we see the issue of capacity, deficit across the whole being demonstrated here.
Senator,
You will find a video on those two sentences.
That's why my letter didn't want to make
And you won't go to
Brother, I'm saying,
Senator, we have the floor.
the minister appeared here, appearing not to be aware that he has written two different communications requesting us to reschedule his appearance and told us that he was informed that the hearing was cancelled. Had he been properly briefed?
He will not have said that. You.
Had he been properly briefed by his office?
He will not have made that
He would not have made that statement.
Precisely.
I heard Raz Tuesday, he said he was informed and not to come.
So why you saying? So he wrote.
Senator Maurice, each senator has the right to speak politically as a dean.
But if we are seeing this thing, we are not going to send for him. We are not going to do it under contempt.
But when I did on those two letters, it
You know why?
was based on the time he refused to come.
It's different for the two.
Yeah, the videos.
So the other one. They want different from the one.
Senator, wait.
Thank you, brother. Look, we just have to be factual with the issues here. Nobody is trying to protect anyone here, but we are discussing the issues. And they have been revealed. Properly here, you can see that the minister is saying one thing, and the communications from his office saying another thing. Meaning that he was not properly briefed.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right.
He has to ensure that he has a record system in his office, that he should be properly briefed whenever he is coming here. So all road protest distinguished police,
That's not the real issue.
it's clear that we have a problem.
Yeah.
And plus government is, because of that problem, maybe for the next 2-3 hours, 2 hours, being discussing something that we should have been discussing.
Precisely. Right.
And we had our records properly researched. And the minister properly been briefed. Maybe I had the right staff to brief him properly. We couldn't have wasted almost 2 hours here. And taking into consideration that he has apologized, we are elders of the land. I know that in the legislature, Some of those we held in contempt was because they showed disrespect to the legislature, and when they appeared before the legislature, they were arrogant. But if it appears that he showed disrespect, and yet before us he says, I'm sorry, I apologize, and we know that there are critical national issues that we have to address as elders of the land, I also want to join my colleagues so that we close on this matter, whatever way plenary will decide, and we move to the substantive issues. But the issue of capacity deficit across government, we should not gloss over that. It has got to be demonstrated here, and we need to do something about it. Thank you.
Information.
Very good.
I'll bring a video of the document that was sitting when the communications were read. What a video? You already
Protem and colleagues, I have been able to request, looking at these letters, the two letters of reference. The two letters of reference, I don't know how the Secretariat runs its affairs, but the two letters of reference were signed by Minister Samuel Tweah. So it's beyond just the deficiency in his office, but it has to do with deficiencies in his mind.
Other sustained Senator who said to plead with Royals. There must be was there a room already? I'm waiting for you to withdraw officially.
Deficiency in the
I withdraw the deficiency.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Go ahead now. Swear.
I have to go, but
Senator Dillon.
so I do have the two letters I was signed.
Not to give the information instead of yeah, because you spoke already, sir.
The information is that the two letters are signed by Minister Tweah. But Minister Tweah did not remember that, and he said that there was somebody here who told him that the meeting wasn't coming on. So we now know that he forgot. He forgot that this happened. So it had nothing to do with his staff. If his staff is like that, then he still takes responsibility because he must take the action that is very, very crucial in running an effective office. So in terms of information, I now know that he wrote himself.
Okay.
But he wrote himself, and the office, our office, appeared that everything was preliminary because no evidence that it was. I don't know how it is.
Niggas know who said Senator from River had the right to say anything. Thank you, Senator.
So maybe you will.
I didn't fair.
All right.
Distinguished as I said in my remark, it is customary. Every time I'm invited and I'm not able to appear, my office will write a response. Sometimes I sign when I'm around, sometimes they use my stamp to sign electronic signature to send. My purpose here was not specifically to argue against the senators that I wrote or I didn't write. That's not what because every time I'm absent, I know some letters come. But sometimes it may be some letters do not come. I did not come to this session to debate with the senators this date versus that date. I have general conversations around hearings, whether I sign letter, whether oral conversation that led. All of that is to show that I have no disrespect to you. Because first there's an institutional mechanism to say when the minister is not around, let us send. But sometimes you do send letters the next day. So I'm not going to say, oh, because the articles I'm aware of, that another letter didn't come 2 days later, well, you know I was in Africa. I will not speak to that. That level of detail, I will not. The point in principle is that the office is informed that when a letter comes and when they believe I'm not able to do so promptly, they should send a response. Now, sometimes they send a response, you send for me later and me I can't. Other times, you send later on and they're not able to respond to that. Those things have happened. My mission here today was not to argue with the senators, was to say at no point in time I would disrespect you because I love to engage you because through this forum, the Liberian people listen and learn about policy issues that you are concerned about and that you make policy decisions. We use this opportunity to inform the people about what is happening. I will always relish the opportunity to appear before the Senate. I was just saying that I would not knowingly disrespect the Senate. And so I'm sorry for not appearing the time you wanted me to come. Whether I had legitimate excuse or not, I'm still saying I'm sorry because I was not here. And my not being here impeded somehow your function. But what I'm also saying is that my not being here was never deliberate and never intentional.
Thank you.
All right, may I apologize?
So the hearing on whether or not the senators should be held, the Minister of Finance and Development Planning should be held in contempt is at a conclusive point. Let's listen to what the Proton will say.
We have listened to the minister. I've listened to all senators, including senators on leadership. We cannot end the matter today. We will take the matter to leadership. Leadership will deliberate, and leadership will come back to plenary. The minister will remain on an oath until the matter is disposed of.
So the contempt charge hearing has just ended. Listen to the protem of the Liberian Senate that this matter has been turned over to the leadership, and leadership is going to hear this matter. And so the second part is one of the issues that were raised as you listen to the protem in the back.
I've not taken pay for several months, so I would want you to address those two issues. Another priority. About social county development fund. Yeah, so all of those two issues, depending on the time, then we'll.
Our money for Mercy Cluster. A
small issue with leches.
Yeah.
And leches.
Depending on the time, we don't finish today, we'll come another time.
Thank you. Thank you, distinguished senators. I will first give a general situation on government salary before coming to the specific issue of the prosecutors. Government has paid for October. government's October salary was delayed for a reason. There was a glitch. That's the fact.
Everyone has been paid.
That is correct.
We are the only one glitch.
See, the senator said, I have to speak. I must be. The senator said, I must speak the truth. I must speak the fact. Government October salary had an issue. The government has paid government workers in October. There may be small issues regarding what is important here for the public is that these issues are not about money. In fact, some government workers are beginning to get paid for November today. Today, government workers are receiving November salary. Today. Some government workers have received their salary alert for November. No, Senator, October salary is yeah, so it is September. There are some issues with the bank posting. I have to provide, Senator, I'm under oath. I will not provide this information to you. I did say October salary had an issue. But October salary was not, the salary issue is not that the government has money to pay on Christmas December 5. We can pay Christmas December 5. So the issue is not that government don't have money. Government has money to pay civil servants. So let us not politicize this issue of a salary. Where there was a technical problem from January this year to this year, nobody heard of a salary issue. Now, all of a sudden, when somebody hears of a salary issue, then the minister has to explain why. But I cannot say what I know is not a fact. If people want me to say something that I do not know is a fact, I will not say it. I'm under oath. I'm under oath to say October salary has been paid. Now, there are some few issues with banks on posting. So, one or two government entities were still sorting that out. Meanwhile, the government November salary has commenced. And the mandate is that the government will pay all government workers for November by November 29th. That is the information that I have to give to the Liberian people. November salary has started to roll. The aim is to pay November before the end of November. The president has mandated me to ensure not just November is paid, but that all December salary, the last man in government must be paid on December 15th. The last person in government, or the last salary processing must happen December 15th, 10 days before December. That means if the last person will be paid on December 15th, or the last process will be on December 15th, somebody will receive the pay on December 5 for Christmas. So that's the general situation. Government had a small technical issue, but government salary remains on course as is being the case throughout the year, throughout last year. The prosecutors, I was made aware through the Minister of Justice, that prosecutors will be striking because they need vehicles and they need salary raise. Not 2 months salary. Last night before coming, I called one of the leaders that I had a meeting with, the Minister of Justice. He said, I am not aware that there is a release out there we are protesting for 2 months salary. We invited you as Minister of Justice to talk about our vehicles. So I'm not sure how that statement got out there. So when you go tomorrow, clarify it and I'll support you. This is one of the prosecutor leaders telling me. The true information is that they did make requests to the government to provide vehicles for prosecutors and they want elevation in salary. In the presence of the acting chair of the cabinet and Attorney General of the Republic, I did say that because there's no money in the budget for that, and we're coming to the end of the year, it's something that I as Minister of Finance have to consult with and make determination of. They cannot go to strike for something like that. So what we said was that, look, we're looking at end of budget processes, and during some time during end of budget processes, things do happen. So if it is possible for us to make provision for $1 million to talk about, I think they're looking at how many cars, I can't put the number here, but we started talking whether $1 million is possible so that we do that and start the procurement process, that could be. But we need to come back. I think the meeting should have been, okay, tomorrow. We're supposed to go back. So the meeting was held last Thursday. And we're going back this Thursday. The information that I was that they should go back to all the lawyers to resume work. I was coming back to them, having had consultations with the Minister of Justice and the rest of the government to see whether we can make $1 million available for December to start the processing for vehicles. I was surprised when the Minister called me and said, after all our conversation, the people still went to strike. And when I heard the information that they were striking for 2 months' salary, then I felt that Liberian people were not served right, because the reason why they called me was because of vehicles, which I said the Minister of Finance cannot just arbitrarily buy a vehicle for everybody. It's not in the budget. I need to discuss with my superiors and we can make something possible. What I did say that next year, beginning January, they can get vehicle because we put it in the 2023 budget. If it's approved. Yeah, I don't have the pay grade to say that. If you approve it, you put it in the budget. We have wiggle room for January. But even that, to calm their feelings, I said we will still come. Let me go back tomorrow and see what's possible. But then we're in that process of the conversation, and then I heard that they strike. So let's face it, these are, and the public needs to know the truth. The truth is that they're not striking for salary, and that they want vehicles. Do they deserve vehicle? I say yes. Are we able to provide vehicle? We should be able to provide vehicle for our prosecutors. Do they deserve a salary increase? I'm saying, listen, there are 70,000 people that work for the government. Government is finding more money to do public service work, roads, everything. 70,000 people working for the government help on average 10 citizens, 10 Liberians, including their family and friends. On average, it's just an average number. Even you make it 15. So you have all your family, then you have friends outside. When you do all that math, about 700,000, or just making 1 million people benefit when government puts salary in certain government workers' account. 1 million people. 4 million people are outside. So the government can make the choice. The government can make its choice. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, we know we operate on 5 million now. So 4 million Liberians will have no impact when government pays salary. Directly. No direct impact. They depend on roads, lights, other investments that they can use because they don't work for the government, they work for private companies, or they don't work at all. So the government has a responsibility to split between those who work for government, make increases, and also keep to continue affecting the other 4 million people. That's a fair balance. We have made increases to civil service salary over the last 4 years since harmonization. Categories of workers have been raised. We normally are just quiet about that because we know again the political implication. When one person hears that this salary has been restored, people start going back. So we've been measured about that. But the truth is that people's salary have gone up. The government is in consultation during the budget process to look at these things. But we have to be measured. If we all demand that everybody should be raised one time, there is no budget for that. So, as part of the 2023 process, conversations with the legislature, the Senate, and the representatives, these things will come before you. To what extent some people may go up, that's your decision. I will make proposals, the president will make, so who can we, but it cannot be a blanket increase because the space is just not there. There may be spaces in the outer years to do that. So that's just a general outlook of government salary, demands for higher pay, and all of that. To the prosecutors, I appeal to them that let's go to the meeting tomorrow under the leadership of the Minister of Justice, who's the head of the Justice Sector here on the executive, and the acting chair of the cabinet right now. I believe that we can reach an amicable solution at tomorrow's meeting. Based on the discussions I'm also having with the Speaker and the President pro tempore about this prosecutor issue, whether the decision will be look in the budget and see what you can do between now to December, and then when we come to the budget discussion 2022, we'll do X, Y, and Z. That would be on the prosecutors. So I appeal to them to return to court. Okay, and I think there was an issue.
Okay, so we go to Social Development Fund for
Yeah. Social Development Fund. For the 2021 budget year, the government made payments to Nimba County, Grand Bassa, Bond County, and MFDP County. $2.1 million was given to Nimba in 2020-2021. $2.3 million was given to Grand Bassa. $1.3 million was given to Bond. All these come from ArcelorMittal. And then for Magibi, $39,000 was given to Magibi County from Fire School. That's 2020-2021. In the special budget, there was no social development payment because of the nature of the budget and the timing of the payments. 1.5 million was given, 1.5 million in county development funds were given to all of the counties in the special budget. 1.5 million was paid. Normally they get 3 million, but because we have the budget, they have the year, so they got 1.5, all counties. That's special budget. FY 2022, county development fund has not been paid yet. Allocation is there, but there are some technical issues again regarding the law. I've been aware of that. Some senators know that, representatives know that, Minister of Internal Affairs knows that, so they will be paid. The money is there. No social development fund yet has been paid from ArcelorMittal. They will be paid as part of the budget process. There's an account called the Benefit Sharing Trust Fund. The government have been owing money to this. It's from the forestry sector. Yeah, and the different counties have honored that. All right. I can say here that $3.2 million was budgeted this year for that because we've not been remitting in the past, so we decided to put that in the budget. For that particular designation, Benefit Sharing Trust Fund related to our forestry sector. A check of $1.5 million is being paid against a $2 million allotment. So technically we can pay $2 million. Now we put in financial budget 1.5, the other 500, which will still leave us by the time we do 2 with 1.2 million to move before December. Those are all on course. There are also other payments related to, I've heard from different counties. The staff at Ministry of Finance that deals with these things are detailing any payments related to social that hit the consolidated. Those counties that those payments are made to, with your approval, because the challenge we have is that when we do not budget for it, then paying it down, we have to have the conversation. That has been the challenge. In the case with this Benefit Sharing Trust Fund, it's in the budget. In the case with companies like Atlantic Resources that are supposed to have paid money, the problem is that the money hit the consolidated, but we did not budget for it. I will appeal to you that as we go to the end of the budget process, right, when we reconcile our numbers, we will recognize all of those payments that have been made this budget year. We'll communicate with you and say, look, maybe since even though it's not in the budget but it's paid, we need to pay these counties. We'll get the full detail of all of these things and we'll provide brief to you. That's on the Social Development Fund, County Development Fund, and Benefit Sharing Trust. I will start there for now.
What about the Western cluster?
Oh, yeah, Western
cash or pay?
Cash.
Western cluster pay cash.
5 million.
And we are entitled to 750,000.
When you're
why we can't get our cash? When you're publishing your vote, you have to pay the money back.
No, Western cluster.
We ain't pay about
Western cluster money.
Why we can't get our own?
Western cluster. The payments were made to Western cluster.
Yeah.
Western cluster pay the money.
They pay the government.
Yeah, the big government.
So where are we?
Where they are percentage?
Kepa, Bobby, and Baburu.
Yes.
Where are our money?
It's going to be paid. It's
What
going
will
to
be
be
paid?
Yes, it's no. Westing, all money paid by Westing cluster. Senator Snow is there. All money paid by Westing cluster will be paid based on the ratio that these three counties. I know Bobby is supposed to get a large share, and the other three counties. Those counties will receive those monies.
When since they were paid to you at cash.
That's correct. They are in process. They are in allotted. We have no. I'm saying we have allotted them. We have allotted those money. They are in check. They're going to. You get paid. It's clear. Listen. Listen. Let me hear you. Bombing County, Grand Cape County, and Bapolu. All the full amount paid by Western Cluster will be given to those counties. It's
when?
In check when?
Let me.
You know my brother, if this is cash that was given to
Okay,
you.
listen, we're in the budget process. It's going to be paid in this quarter.
That language budget process.
Senator, the check is there.
When you guys pay cash, people see that bill.
Cash bill. What do you want that bill?
I will be surprised, Senator, if Senator Snow asks me a question because the senator knows we have but Senator, you know the conversation we had about this. No, that is one thing. The process where it's on. The process, yeah. The allotment has been made.
Mr. Minister, my problem is what's the cost of pay cash? And we agreed that $750,000 of that money will go to Grand Cape County. What kind of budget process you need to take that cash and put it in our account? What do you call it budget process?
Chief, all payments are made through budget process.
Well, how long it will take to take that cash that was given to you to put it in our account? Well, it takes 10 years. Because here I know when Western Cluster made that payment.
I agree.
So what happened?
I agree.
Then I wrote that out. In the budget, what was happening to this $552,005? Page, which one, gentlemen? Code 5, page 333 of the budget. What would happen to it? Every country is supposed to get a beneficial trust fund, whatever. What will happen to it when the budget year ends?
No.
I come to the end of
We are paying 3.2 million in that. We have 1.5 million in check already going to LBR. So what will happen today? The governance around that is that the Ministry of Finance moves that money to LBDR trust. The money goes there. 1.5 million in check is going there to LBDR. We will allot the rest of the one that's on the budget, 3.2, I'm informed, will also go to that account. What will happen beyond that point, I have to look into in terms of the governance. So if
we have to look into it in terms of the governance,
there's governance. The ministry is not going to spend. That's the other. One of the things we need to clear here in the public realm, and we'll come to that conversation. The Ministry of Finance is not a spending entity. We don't spend public money. We provide allocation and administer the distribution of public money to entities that spend it under specified public financial management rules. So under the rules here, I am supposed to allot and transfer 3.2 million to LBDI for a framework that has been laid on how that money was spent from there. Now my responsibility is to make sure that when we transfer that money, persons who receive those money should file their financial information back to the Ministry of Finance. But Ministry of Finance is not the one spending that money. We ask the question once the money is given as to, okay, have you filed a report? And through that reporting process, I will then know whether this money was spent in Grand Cape Mount, for which purpose. If I'm not satisfied, I can raise question with that framework. That's where my accountability is. But I cannot account physically for that 3 million that goes to there in terms of the expenditure. I can only come after.
So tomorrow, who will respond to me on budget performance? That entity or you?
No, so you were asking me, Mr. Minister,
Have you transferred?
So you are going to get a lot of questions from me for that 2023 budget.
That's right. Have you transferred the 3.2?
I said you will get a lot of questions from me for that 2023 budget. Because everything that Cape not supposed to get, if you don't get it, I'm not going to vote for blue or 2023 budget.
So you're getting it.
I'm not showing you. I'm giving you notice that what's up is that you don't get it, you're not going to vote for me.
So accountants will get their money, but I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want the impression is that when the accountants receive their money, they will account for them. The Minister of Finance will not account for monies that belong to accountants.
What money in the budget you give it, then you give it all that. Somebody else.
Distinguished senators, Mr. Minister of Finance, I have an instrument in my hand approved February 28, 2022, printed in this on March 3rd, 2022, signed by the President of the Republic of Liberia on February 28, 2022, about 12 noon. And this document, I know you are familiar with it, and let me read it for your benefit. An act to approve the national budget for the fiscal period beginning January 1, 2022, and ending December 31, 2022, to provide for the expenditure of the government of Liberia. Are you familiar with the document?
Yes.
Okay. That going in the document. Page 2, section 4, under fiscal measures. Point 2. Now let me read it. Just two. All social development funds, including land rental fees, shall be transferred directly to the affected county's escrow account. Have you done so?
That's what I said for 2022. We have not paid social development.
We have not received it for 6 years.
I named social development funds paid since 2020-2021.
So you see your action of we not receiving it as a violation of this provision.
You say for reverse county?
Yes.
There are counties that should receive social development payments, like even this benefit sharing trust fund. Between 2019, if we won't go back to 2018 story about the country finances, Senator, you will be aware of what happened here. Yeah, about 2000,
Honorable Minister,
2020.
Honorable Minister,
Yeah.
please don't intellectualize our development. Please. We are talking serious matter. We are talking about any senators here being re-elected or not. I cannot be a senator sitting in the capital building in 6 years, I pass the national budget, and the portion of that national budget, moreover, money companies operating in the county gave you the government for me. I'm not talking about the county development fund. The 200,000, whether we can receive it, but the money companies gave you. Do I have the right to sue you for misappropriation? This is what we're talking about. And as long as the money here, if we cannot get that money, we will not get me to vote for 2026 budget. I'm not sitting at the table with a rich man saying hungry. Clearly.
Senator, my response to senators during the budget process is let's make provision. Let's make provision for the payment of social development claims. What will happen is that legacy claims that the legislature that we owe counties that were not paid and not budgeted let's budget. Once anything enters the budget, it becomes the law. And then we will then make the payments. I just gave an example on the 3.2 million for the beneficiary fund. It's in the budget. It's going to be paid.
I think what we need to do is to change that financial management law that is proposed to us. Money from the companies for our country should go directly to our account. It shouldn't go to your consolidated fund. When it goes to your consolidated fund, we have problem. And that's our recommendation. We stop that money going to your consolidated fund because when it goes there, that when you start digging hole and quarry hole. We want to stop that. That's why I see we are warning you now that we are going to change that financial
the president.
We want the money to come directly to our account.
The president is in favor of all social development funds going directly to the counties. In this 2023, let us amend the framework. We only have to set up the accountability framework. We said
please set up the accountability framework. Our money was supposed to go to the county's account. When you gave the order, then go to central bank. So you will have control. When you don't get our order,
when we set up the framework,
so we make that law, that our money will go to our county account.
First champion for that law in 2023. I am the direct champion of all counties.
ECOWAS champion.
Development Fund. Since 2018 to 2021, Bapolo have now had county sitting. We had a county sitting, I think, roughly last year. How far are we with our development fund for the past 3 years?
I just said that for the special budget year, 1.5 million was given to all counties, including Bapolo County. Yes. Bapolo County received $100,000 in the special budget.
What about the past 3 years?
The county development fund this year we will pay it.
What about the past 3 years?
The 2021,
2018, 2019.
county development funds were not generally paid.
They want to understand. Go sometimes we won't get clarity because the president of the republic always when he goes out there he can tell the people that they should hold the leaders responsible. And the leaders always say that we are using the county fundings. So I think we are getting the answer from you today that 2018, 2019 development funds were not paid, right? I want us to go back to the right subsidies. We should not go there. Now, okay, no problem.
Let it come back.
The county. But I agree to that. I wanted to get that understanding. Yeah, but
other issues.
I agree to that.
Over on this door. County development fund, social development fund.
Lectures.
The
The census.
And no redress yet. Financial
standards.
come back Thursday. Yeah.
Something else, President. Something different. Honorable President, something different.
So my closing comment on social development fund, county development fund issues is that
something different.
If there are legacy payments that have not been made by the government to these counties, I legitimately think should be recognized as part of the 2023 process by you. We calculate how much these monies are for 2023, make a specific line item in the budget, and pay it out to the counties in 2023.
Mr. Secretary, people are down.
You know what I'm glad.
You mean the arrear?
I'm saying for 2018, all arrears that we have not paid for 2023 process as part of the allocation of resources. Now, I'm not saying when you pass the law immediately we'll be able to do that. I'm saying over that 12-month period, at some point we should find a line and say $7 billion to address all legacy issues for all the 15 counties.
Secretary, in the election you write it down.
It's development money for the people. It's keep making the policy.
We write it down with Dr. Secretary.
Project my information to the Senate took an action to amend the revenue code to allow for revenue sharing at the local level, to also amend the PFM law to allow the ministry to send money directly, and to also amend the tax. I think that the tax, three actions we took here, and we're waiting for the House of Representatives to pass on those instruments before transmitting it. So all we can do right now, since the House has passed on them, is for us to act through the leadership, either by the Senate, the pro tem, to the President for signing. That is an attempt to give the local government act strength so that we can devolve power to the local authority. So if that is done, all what we're seeing here will be quite in place. So 11 years was there that, and I thank you.
Our legacy debt would not be addressed.
Police, I have a concern, protest, and police. With the numerous of problems that we have, most especially road connectivity and other issues, and Liberia again is the most spending country in terms of election. If you look at our West African region, the amount of money that our country spending for our election is more than even any other country in Africa. And if we spend that money, we're looking at the circumstances that we have major issues. I want to ask the minister, what is view towards the expenditure of election?
That's not what we are going to do.
Because I have the right to ask the question. You can't say not what you get. We say all other issues. We say all other issues. I have to discuss it. That's not an issue. You are speaking your country. If money is reduced, we can use it for other purposes. I have the right to raise issues. You can't say no.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Let the minister respond.
So the minister will take the question. When you come back Thursday, you address them. Okay.
President, I just want to, I know that I'm coming next Thursday, but I want the minister to go with this for all of us. It is scary. Has told us that he has an office stamp, that he can stamp his signature on documents when he's not in the country. It is that signature stamp that we are being made to believe that those two letters in question were signed by the minister by stamp. I think this body should be scared to advise the minister to stop, because one day, talking at $10 million will get an offer that stamp, and he will say, I'm not going to stamp, somebody do that stamp. the signature of the Minister of Finance cannot be done by stamp, and then suddenly he forgot or he didn't remember when they used that stamp. Money could be transferred on that stamp, and it is a process of deniability route. They should stop it now. They should stop it now. We lose the responsibility in a country easily. It's better to prevent it now to advise the minister to start using stamp. And two, so that the minister can prepare when he comes on Thursday. Let him consider that the current development money that we're all talking here, when he comes in next Thursday, let him look at the possibility of putting it on domestic debt. Since domestic debt payment is something of interest, and every year we do domestic debt, it would be only current development money or social development. Since 2018, there's a backlog of payment. And every year we get good domestic debt, and when the budget cycle ends, and the government did not pay for services of Wabi, they can go on domestic debt. So we can be able to get the money to pay these kind of social development, money that we receive from some of these investors or concessionaires that are not paying sent to the county. The key thing I want to advise the minister on publicly, that's them. That's them. Today the minister said, maybe that the stem they use, I even remember the two letters. Some of my colleagues backing up that the stem, that stem will transfer money one day.
No, listen. As Minister of Finance, I bear full responsibility for anything under the public financial management law. So I am not excused. My signature is my signature. That is why I will ask that question. When I designate Samurai Water, because under the law, the statute designates him. When I travel, the decisions that happen in my absence, I am responsible for them. Okay. Not Samurai Water. I said that publicly, and I'm saying that again. I said that before. Understand, under no stem. I'm telling you at all times. The only way I will now hold responsibility for that office, except the minute I am no longer the minister. But once I'm minister under oath, under the commission of the president, my signature, whether digital, pen, physical, is my signature. But they don't know how it works.
So folks, the Liberian Senate has adjourned with the appearance of Minister Samuel Tweah. Minister Samuel Tweah has just informed the Senate on several issues. It is expected that he will appear on Wednesday, though that is Thursday next week. Minister Samuel Tweah will appear before the Liberian Senate to deliberate on other issues, especially the $11 billion in the chambers, in the budget for the transfer importation of rice to the country. And so Mr. Samuel Tweah will return, but you follow after several hours of hearing on the issue of contempt. That was not resolved because there was no decision taken. The plenary of the Liberian Senate took siege of that matter, and so we will see what happens. And so with the leadership bringing that matter back on the floor, Mr. Samuel Tweah now is having conversation with senators. So folks, this is how we like to call your day here from the chambers of the Liberian Senate. My name is Aaron Kuban. We hope to join you on Thursday next week, or hopefully on Tuesday as well.